Welcome to Kingdom Business Talk. I'm Ricky Trinidad, your host, and we have a special guest today, Armen Perrotta. What a privilege it is to have you on our podcast. Very exciting. You're a police officer, you're a business owner, you love your community. I'm excited to talk to you about all of these things, especially the police part, but also the business owner part and the things that you do. Without further ado, tell us a little bit about yourself growing up here, and then we'll get into the other things.
I attended Newcastle High School. My senior year, I was on the co-op program. I attended Beaver County Police Academy, where I was attending the police academy while I was in high school.
Wow.
I graduated the police academy. I got hired as a police officer at 18 years old.
After high school.
After
right?
high
Okay.
school. And then I still am a police officer as of now, like how you said. Then in 2020, I bought my first rental house. Since then, I acquired and own and manage 11 rental units in Lawrence County, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Then in 2021, I then started Hard Rock Paving and Seal Coating. We've now been in business for 3 years. We have 13 employees, and we're based out of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. I'm also engaged to Rebecca Show.
Oh, wow.
And
Congratulations.
yes, thank you.
Appreciate
And
it. Awesome.
if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have anything that I have because she tremendously supports me and helps me with a lot of things, which I'm very thankful for. So we have to give her credit there.
Well, that's awesome. That's great to know. Engaged, business owner, police officer, property owner. This is a really unique, right after high school, you went into being a police officer. And you own this business and you own these and manage these properties. Tell us a little bit about being a police officer in this area. What is it like? Is it dangerous? Is there a lot of crime? Is Newcastle, I grew up in Chicago, and Chicago, people talk about Chicago, the South Side's terrible. I grew up on the North Side, but still, you have gangs, you have drugs, but you also have awesome areas and beautiful, and it's very safe depending on where you live. Is that how it is here in Newcastle? Tell us a little bit about
Yes.
your experience.
Obviously, as a police officer, anytime you put on any type of uniform is very dangerous. In our town, we're very fortunate. Overall, we're very lucky. We do have, a decent amount of domestics, a decent amount of thefts, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. We definitely don't have nearly as many violent crimes as bigger cities like Chicago and stuff like that. So we're pretty fortunate.
It's a noble thing what you do. It's a noble thing to risk your life for the safety of our community. And one of the things we're developing right now, we're deep in the heart of our royalty campground, which was received a conditional approval last year. Talking about my company, Metro Vitalization. And it's very exciting to put that design together and really work on all aspects of it. But one of the aspects that's so important in all of our communities that we're developing is safety. And that's one of the things that really came to my heart when I came to Newcastle is we need to make sure we have good relationships with the police department, that we have the right security people on board. What is your perspective on safety in terms of new development projects that are coming in Newcastle? What is your perspective? What is the importance of it, and how can we make it better?
Yes. So you're definitely thinking in the right direction as far as safety. The biggest thing is you got to have a good quality of life to attract residents and new businesses. Because if you don't have a safe community, most of your residents are probably going to relocate and it's not going to attract new people. And that's why you got to have a safe community. And how you can have a safe community is by two things. Number one, you got to support your police department. These community leaders need to support their police department.
I agree with that.
They need to make it known that they support them. They need to make it known for them to be aggressive on crime. And the second thing you need to do is invest in your police department. And what I mean by that is providing them competitive wages, providing them good working hours, providing them the right amount of manpower, and providing them funding for training so they can be better trained officers. That's very critical. And if you have those four things, you're going to retain those officers and they're going to stay in your communities. The longer those officers stay in your community, they're going to build relationships with the business owners, with the residents, and you want police officers to be approachable. And when residents and business owners know the police officers and know who they are and call them by name, they're going to be able to approach them and report crimes or report suspicions. And also, it can help them solve crime.
Right.
Because I know just from my own experience is, when there's, let's just say I know that you live on a certain road and there was a bunch of car break-ins. I could call you and say, hey, Rick, can you go check your car camera or your house cameras and look and see if you could find anything, and then you could solve it. I've solved many crimes by knowing connections in the community.
Oh, wow.
So you got to want to be able, these community leaders need to really focus on safety in the community. That's key. That's the foundation for quality of life.
I agree 100%. And quality of life is really what we focus on here at Metro Vitalization. Today we're filming at Metro Vitalization instead of the studio downtown. And one of the things that what we try to do, our mission is to create places that are beautiful, that enhance the economy, that beautify the area, that enhance the safety, the quality of life. They're intertwined. Quality of life and safety go hand in hand. And I agree with you that residents working closely with the police departments and providing that information helps create a safer environment. And there is no way this city and this region is going to progress without moving and expanding the police department and the safety in our area. Now, you used to be a firefighter as well, right?
I have, yes.
How was that experience?
It was very interesting.
Very interesting. So you've committed yourself to social causes, to risking your life, both as a former firefighter, as a police officer, right after high school. Hats off to you, really.
Thank you.
That's an amazing accomplishment already. And now let's talk about your business a little bit. So your first business was owning these properties and managing these properties, right? That was before you bought Hard Rock. Right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so tell us about that. How did you get into property management, property ownership, and managing tenants? How is it going?
It's going very good. So how I got into it is I had a great mentor. I had multiple mentors.
Okay.
They had rental houses. They guided me to buy my first rental house. I bought my first rental house for $7,500,
Oh, wow.
which in today's housing market is impossible to ever find. And then I just ended up buying another one, buying another one, buying another one. And all those times, and still to this day, I don't pocket any of that money that I make off of those houses. I just keep buying more and more houses.
Oh.
Instead of buying fancy cars or buying fancy houses, what I do is I buy things that can make me money.
Okay, so you buy these houses and you renovate them.
Yes.
So number one, you're improving the community because these houses may be blighted, abandoned, they're an eyesore, they're reducing the value in the neighborhood. So you take these homes and you beautify them, and then you make them livable. You enhance the quality of life, like you were saying. Then you bring in a tenant and you provide housing for them, right?
Yes.
And how's that going? Is it tenancy? Is it easy to find tenants? How managing the tenants? Have you had issues there?
One thing that's very nice in today's housing market is there's never a time that I go more than 2 months without having the vacant apartment filled.
Oh, wow.
So there's definitely a market right now for this. As far as managing the tenants, I'm very fortunate. All my tenants are very good, but I also believe by being a good landlord and treating your tenants good and going the extra mile for them, that builds respect with them and they treat you good. So I try to help my tenants out as much as I can because I believe I'll get that in return.
And that's exactly right. That's the only way to do it and to grow in the property management business and ownership business. Tell us about Hard Rock now.
Yes.
Now, by the way, I want to say this. I hadn't met you, but your company did some paving for one of our projects already. And I found that out after I met you. So
at the Chamber of Commerce, the Christmas Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Yes. So tell us about Hard Rock. How did that come about? Hard Rock Paving and Seal Coating.
Correct. Yeah.
That's your company, and I'm going to put the information. Visit his webpage. Give him a call. If here you have a thriving company, a thriving businessman, young man that's given himself to his community. We should always hire. We should always look to support our local businesses, especially business leaders like yourself that are working hard and making something good happen here in Newcastle. So I'm going to put his information up, and I encourage you, if you need sealing driveways or you need paving, give him a call. Check him out online. And now tell us a little bit about Hard Rock.
Yeah, so Hard Rock Paving was formed in 2021. Our company, our paving crew, have over 100 years of experience. My paving foreman has over 30 years in the business. My father has over 25 years in the business. Unique thing about my business is we're a local family-owned company. There's not a job that we perform that either my dad or myself is not on. We try to provide the best quality service at the lowest cost.
Oh.
That's our business model.
Yes. Can you talk about specifically the services?
Yeah, so we do asphalt paving, asphalt patching, and seal coating. We do work for municipalities. We do commercial work, and we also do residential work.
Okay, so there you have it. If you're in need of those services, check him out. I'm going to put his information there up on the screen, and check it out, because we need to support our local businesses. And honestly, it's admirable to me what you've done, what you've accomplished so far in your life at such a young age, and now you're engaged. Do you want to share a little bit about that? I mean, let's let our podcast viewers kind of get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. So I've been with my fiance now for 3 or 4 years as of this year, and she helps me with my business as far as supporting me, as far as helping me with accounting things. She's a really good asset to me. I wouldn't have what I have if it wasn't for her.
Well, that's the right thing to say, especially because you're engaged.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hear wedding bells anytime soon?
Pretty soon.
Okay.
Maybe 2026. We'll see.
I don't want to put anything like that. But that's amazing. Well, like you mentioned, we met at the Christian Chamber of Commerce a couple of weeks ago. And we honestly, I couldn't stop talking to you. The conversation was so good. Just your insight about the community, because you get a different insight when you speak with a police officer. You get to see the community from a different perspective. Really, what is Newcastle about? What are the people about? And it was surprising that there isn't that much crime. There's crime, but there's always room for improvement. But also your sense of business. And we were both at the Christian Chamber of Commerce for a reason. There's a spiritual aspect behind what I do. You're growing in that area, and we're going to go to the Man Cave. Actually, I want to put a plug in for the Man Cave. The Man Cave is an organization that Dr. Apostle Mark Koff put together here in Newcastle. Basically, it's guys. We come together, we pray over each other, we have a meal together, and we fellowship. We kind of commingle a little bit, get to know each other. It's actually, I haven't been to one that was not powerful. Every single one is just a powerful encounter. So I want to invite you. It's $15 to get in. I'll tell you what, if you're watching this podcast, get a hold of me. I invite you. I'll pay your way. Come out. It's the next one. We do it every 45 to 60 days. The next one is going to be on April 5th at 6:30 at KBN Studios. I'll put the information there. It's on Wilmington Road, right here in Newcastle. So I hope to see you there. It's really a powerful way for you to get closer to God, for you to pray over. We all have things. We all have things in our lives. We have, circumstances, financial troubles, health, family issues. We all have something, and we need God. So that's why we were there, and it was a pleasure to meet you there, and to get to know you a little bit. A lot of people don't know that they're gentlemen, young men like yourself, that love the city, that will risk your life as a police officer, as a firefighter, as a business owner. That's a risk that you take. It's a financial risk to just delve into the business and operate it every day. And as a property owner and property manager, that's just very noble of you to have such a passion for your city. So tell me a little bit about your vision. What would you like to see Newcastle? You know that I'm all about revitalization.
Yes.
It's the name of my company, Metro Vitalization. Metro, the urban area and surroundings, so the metropolitan area, and vitalization is revitalization. And we're all about, enhancing the community. So that's why I'm here. That's why my company exists. and it is going to happen. We are going to transform. That's what we're alive for. So, as a company, so tell me, what would you like to see, and how do you see the Newcastle area and surrounding townships and the region kind of evolving, having grown up here and lived here
Yeah.
for all your life?
One thing I see, and I have a really bright vision of Lawrence County altogether right now. We have some really good community leaders. Union Township in Bessemer Borough, Neshannock Township, Shenango, and the city of Newcastle. All those community leaders are very eager to attract new businesses, and they're putting in the time and work to try to better their communities. I read the paper every day. There's more and more things planned daily that I've been seeing. It's great for the community. When your development goes through, that's going to attract so many more businesses, especially in Union Township.
Right. I agree. It's really been a pleasure to meet some of these people myself. In government, just like in any business, you have the whole spectrum of employees and people that work for either a company or for government. You have clock punchers, people that show up, what time is 5 o'clock, I want to go home, and they don't care. And then you have other people like the mayor of our city here, Linda Ferris. There's just so many people. James Ferris, the township supervisors at Union Township, and so many Marla Brown, and there's just so many people that I've met here that have a passion. Yourself,
And that's
have a
why I
passion
think
for
that
this
is
community.
because you have so many supportive people networking together,
Right.
which is only going to bring great things to our community.
Yes,
That's huge.
I agree. And there's no way that a community can grow if there isn't vision, if there isn't passion, if there isn't really love for the community. And I've really seen it here. So how do you see it evolving, like the change?
Thing is, and I'm going to jump onto your project. When Royalty Place comes, the tax base is going to improve.
Right.
And when tax bases improve, you get a better service in the communities. You get better public safety. You get better roadways. You get better infrastructure.
Right.
That's huge.
Yep, I agree. Royalty Place is 206 homes in Union Township. We acquired the property in 2023, and right now we're in the process of submitting our final designs and getting those approvals, and we've cleared some of the site and we're ready to start construction over there. That property is 100 acres, about 100 acres, was sitting vacant for a long time and not doing anybody any good.
Very long time.
And when you put in 206 homes, at prices that people can afford, I want to say it's not affordable housing, it's not low income housing. We are worth, but they're high quality homes. You'll be able to get into a new duplex for in the low 200s, maybe even a little bit lower than that, but don't quote me on that because we're working on it. But our goal really is to meet that threshold that people can afford it and it's a beautiful home and it works. When you do that and you create these pocket parks and these streets and you beautify the area and you make sure that it's lush and beautiful, and you increase the tax base, it's really a win-win for the community. It's a win-win for us. I mean, we leave a legacy behind. In the future, we'll look back and say, we were part of this transformation, and that's what it's all about for me. So I agree with you also with royalty camping, which is adjacent to the Royalty Place development. That one is not just a campground. That one is an RV resort. We're in the process right now of moving that forward, and it's going to be an exciting thing. I mean, we're going to attract tourism to the area. So, if you have 125 people on average a day at the campground, well, guess what? They're going to stop and get gas. They're going to buy a sandwich. They're going to want to visit the area. They're going to spend money here. It's going to increase the tax revenues for the area. So it really is tourism.
And bring more other businesses that's going to follow that. And that's what's going to be the huge thing.
Exactly. Now Starbucks is going to want to come, Target, or all these big boxes want to come because of this activity that's coming in. Actually, the RV industry is steadily growing since COVID. And it's kind of plateaued right now, but it's expected to continue to grow. And it's just like a booming industry. It's going to have a lazy river pool.
That's going to be
fun
huge.
and relaxing. People are going to love it. That by itself is
that by
attract
itself
people.
would attract people.
Yeah, and a lot of different unique features that other campgrounds don't have because ours is really new. It's brand new construction. We're going to need security. we're going to need safety. Do you have any other suggestions or advice, let's say, for city officials in terms of the development of the area, the security in the area as things progress? Any thoughts that you might have on this?
I think code enforcement is very critical in these municipalities. They need to have an active code enforcement officer that proactively drives around the municipality and looks for major violations, such as high grass, such as a junk vehicle, junk in the yard, an unsafe building. Now, I'm not saying they should be driving around nitpicking on small violations.
Right.
These are major violations, because if they don't address those, it's going to drive the current residents to move out of the area. And it's also not going to be appealing for new people that are willing to purchase properties. I can't tell you myself how many properties I went and looked at, and I planned on fixing up the house, making it a beautiful place. But the problem is, we have an eyesore that's next door that has high grass, junk vehicles in the yard. That drives people away. It's a very critical aspect that they need to keep in mind.
I agree, because we're trying to attract people to the community. So if we only develop the land for the residents that are here, well, there isn't going to be business, enough business activity to create more jobs for their kids and for the future generation and for the growth of the community. So part of growth really is that you're bringing in people from the outside as well as serving the people that are here. But people that come here, they don't want to see junk in the yard. That's a deterrent. They don't want to see places that are abandoned, code violations, like you said. So let's talk about community leaders in the Newcastle area. How can they do better? And I know there's a lot of community leaders that are doing very well. What are your thoughts on the leadership in the community right
I think if they're not doing it already, I believe they should go out and try to market their communities. Try to go to events or meetings to try to network with developers like yourself, and, tell them about their community. A lot of developers or small business owners, they want to be able to directly work with community leaders. They can call them up on the phone if they have any questions or if they need any help. I think that's very critical, and that's what attracts people like yourself, when you can call them up and they can work with you and try to get you to reach your goals.
now? I agree, and I want to say there's awesome leaders that I've met in this community. I can name a few: Michael Mansour, Abdu Sada, yourself, Ash Algire, Marla Brown, the mayor of the city, Mark Halisco, and just so many others that I've met. There's just people that have a love and a passion for this community that are doing so well. But there's also people that are going to become leaders. They have it in their heart, and this is an opportunity for leaders to rise. So leadership can improve by marketing your community to developers, to business owners, and really diving into how to market your community and how to do that better. Is there anything else?
I think that they need to be very open minded and not hold past practice of bad developers that have let them down, not let that hold them back from giving people like yourself a chance. I feel that it's just like a business. You have to take a risk, and if you don't take the risk, you're not going to progress.
Right, I agree.
Without taking a risk. And that's why I feel that community leaders need to almost have a business mindset on being able to take risks. Now, obviously, both parties have to protect themselves,
Right.
and not take bad risks, but just make sure they're protected.
100%. I agree. It's I'll share this about myself. I had a previous marriage. Now, we're still friends right now, and I know this is kind of a personal thing I'm sharing, but when after the divorce, I said, well, you know what? Like a lot of guys say, I won't get married again. It didn't go so well the first time, but in actuality, if I would have given in to that, then I wouldn't have met my wife, Kelly, now, who is the anchor in my life, who's the best thing that ever happened.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. It's like I had to take a risk again, because I couldn't say every relationship is going to be like the previous one. So, you're right.
So you got to take the shot.
You got to take a shot. You got to take the risk, give people the benefit of the doubt, and allow them to at least show and prove themselves that they're genuine, that they want to do a good thing. And I think community leaders really need to adapt that, because, and it's not a bad thing, because they want to be protective. the
Yes.
community, but not at the expense of not progressing and not moving forward and not taking risks with people that can make a difference. So that I appreciate you bringing that up because that is so true, and that can hold a city back. That can hold a community back because you don't want to take a risk. You know, you have to take a risk and, you know, and at the same time protect yourself. And we need to protect ourselves. And there's got to be a balance there. So that's very insightful again of you. Want to put in the plug-in again of the Man Cave on April 5th at 6:30 p.m. at KBN Studios. I'm going to put it up on the screen again. Join us there and have a spiritual encounter with us. I hope you can come. I think, are you going to be there?
As long as I'm not working, I'll be there.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. And I really appreciate you being on the podcast. It's really a privilege to get to know you. I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. We need more people like you, a heart for the city, you know, willing to really risk your life for the safety of our community, a business owner, you know, a man who cares about, you know, his environment, about his city, and, you know, really a role model for so many people. So I appreciate you coming on the show, and I'm looking forward to just developing our friendship and really transforming our city together. Thank you so much, Armen, for being on the podcast. I really appreciate you coming here and
Absolutely.
being a part of this transformation in the growth city of our area, of our region. And I look forward to seeing you again on our podcast next Thursday at 6:30 right here on Kingdom Business Talk.